pre-mix all the gas, so we don't have an issue with fuel. But if you were on your own and mixing 50-to-1 ratio, you would probably try to find a can that was a 5-liter can. Okay, then you would find 100 milliliter service jugs. Always make sure you put the oil in first, because if you forgot to put the oil in, you put gas in, you're going to kill the engine. If you put oil in first and you forgot you put oil in first, you put more oil in and then gas, it would just be rich. And all you would have to do is get another 5 liters of clear fuel, mix them back and forth, shake them around, and then you would have 10 liters of mixed gas. You have these units. Cautionary thing that we need to make sure with these is that you need to vent them every morning or every time you refuel, because they're a sealed unit. They don't have any source of breathing. Purge that, and then I get this on top and then push the trigger and I can start fueling. So it's not a pump, I just push, let a bit in there, do a check, and so forth. One of our rules is that you need to have a spill pad. You need to make sure that you do not fill that tank any higher than 3/4 full. Because if you exceed 3/4, you still don't overflow. If I say fill the tank full and you exceed that full capacity, what do you got? Overflow. You got a mess. Now you have an environmental issue. And in certain areas, it could be a matter of a job being shut down. What do you need done?
Yeah. Nope.
Okay, so pay attention. If you learn anything from this course, that's it, right there. All you freaking need to know, it'll take you places. Not too many people do that, because I can put this cap on here and have it like that, and have that happen.
And have a lake full of fuel.
Yeah. And you can't get that fuel out of your saw pens. You'll get it out off the outside sheath, but it won't come out of the fibers. So now it's etching away at those fibers, and you are flammable. Like those saw pans are done. Bar oil, on the other hand, is not a big deal, because you can get, and it'll, like if you pour it on and soak it in, the fuel's different. So it goes right through into those fibers and starts breaking those fibers down. That's like putting your ropes and rigging gear close to the fuel tanks on the truck, or throwing it in bags.
I think that was a test question.
Yeah, it was.
Contaminating, right? So if you're getting good skills and you're proving to me that you're a good operator, and we pull out some big heavy artillery such as a 500i or a 361 or a 362 or 440s, bigger bars, have them a little bit more fun. Because those saws are high performance, and I want to make sure that they live forever, because I don't want to buy anymore, we want to make sure that we're putting in this type of fuel. This fuel and this fuel are relatively the same, right? Steel or Husqvarna, they both work identical. Echo's the same stuff.
So you can use like Husqvarna with this?
Absolutely.
Can you mix those two together?
I wouldn't recommend it, because the chemical, the difference would be like a difference between a rye and a rye. Right? Like, I don't know, Crown Royal and, Whiskey River.
After a few of them, you're not going to taste the difference.
That was a good one.
So what happens is that I mix fuel here, so I've got 15 days to use this stuff up. So if it was regular gasoline, we've got a shelf life of about 30. When I put this in here, I contaminate that gas. So yes, these do have stabilizer in them, basically, but if you are really on the performance side, you want to use this stuff up within that 15-day time frame. So that's 2 weeks.
Does it not burn when it's over then?
No, it starts to break down, so it becomes flat ginger ale. On the other hand, this is good for 2 years, because this doesn't have the additives that the automotive spectrum gets. And that's why this is a special blend, a little bit more expensive, but when you have hedge trimmers that you only use for a month, and you stow them away, this is what you should be using. So, huh?
How much do those usually go for, would you say?
These are $10.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. When you do this test, you're going to go through the 4 main safety features and be giving me as much information as you can. So anything I put on the board, talked about, is opens. So you would point to this object and tell me what it does, how it works, what it's on there for, and so forth. Then you would move to this section here and tell me the relationship that this and this has, and why this is here, and what it does, and the proper terminology. Then we're going to come up to here. You're going to explain to me this mechanism, how it in partnership with this, and how all this activates. So you need to know that master control system, depending on the saw that you bring to me. But over time, you may not have that saw, so you need to know both those units in there. The older 2.6s and the newer 261Cs, okay? And then you're gonna rotate up and you're gonna talk about this area here. But we've already had you kind of thinking about what this is all about, right? You've all been dreaming about this at nighttime. So you should have this ingrained in your head. Don't let me catch you doing that incorrectly. So now, Don can just read through what I just showed you. I just did the chain.
The identify safety features?
Yeah, yeah.
So, identifying safety features, 4 main safety features of the chainsaw, explain function, utilizing appropriate terminology. So, Bob already talked about the chain brake, yes? And went through the details of the chain brake, all the particulars, the chain catcher pin, the importance of the chain catcher pin, the rear handguard, and the relationship between the rear catcher pin and the rear handguard, and how that protects you. And then your throttle interlock master control switch. So you really want that information. You want to be able to drill into it. You got to find a way to communicate it. So since you're talking to us when we're doing the testing, what I'm going to recommend is, first of all, print this out. You got a mirror at home somewhere, right? Talk to yourself in the mirror. Okay, so the chain catcher pin, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the rear handguard, blah, blah, blah. You get comfortable repeating these things. When you come into the testing where we're going to be looking at your ability to demonstrate that you know what we're talking about, it's going to be easy. If you're not used to speaking it out loud, when it comes time for the test, the terminology isn't there. You won't be able to look at it. So that's identifying safety features. Practice it. Talk to yourself. Who cares? Carrying the chainsaw. Have we done carry yet?
No, I'm just going to carry it over here for a second.
Okay, so we're going to explain and demonstrate how to safely carry a chainsaw in both the left and the right hands, utilizing appropriate terminology. Look at the orientation of the chainsaw. Where's the sharp bit in relation to Bob?
Behind them?
It's behind him. It's not just behind him, but it's to the outside.
Outside, okay.
It's as far away from him as possible while he's doing a safe carry. But if Bob's arm got tired and he had to switch hands,
Yep, nope.
oh, okay. So we have another method of carrying to keep the sharp away from the body. Still keeping it behind. The reason we want the sharp behind and not in front is if you trip or slip or fall, where do we tend to fall? Think about last time, close your eyes, think about last time you fell. Which direction did you fall?
Forward.
When we lose our balance because of mass and our body structure, we fall forward. It's very rare we fall backwards. And so if the sharp bit is forward, I'm falling on the sharp bit.
That would be unfortunate.
It would be. So the sharp bit's always to the back with a proper carry.
And you have it pressed against your leg too?
Ooh, wait a minute. So you see that cool handle that Bob's got? He's got to utilize the entire length of the handle to make sure that the sharp portion, the cutting attachment, is as far away from the body, regardless of which hand. I'm sorry, you had a question?
Yeah, sorry. So he has it like pressed against his leg too when he's walking?
Yeah.
So go into a proper carry on that side, Bob.
This side?
Yeah.
So where's the handle?
Out of control.
Okay. Handles.
Protection out of control.
Yeah, blocking it.
Guys, I might have to do this.
Climb over something, like a brush pile in order to process it, cut it.
You should do this as an exercise.
You're doing this as the test. Yeah, this is part of the test. You're going to be walking and demonstrating proper carry.
So if we take the ones from the class, should we take them apart and then walk with them properly?
Now that you know how to properly walk with them when you're putting away at the end of class, yes.
Good.
And they have chain on them too, right?
It's live now. This doesn't have a chain.
So you might have to carry two of them. So if I had one in this hand and one in this hand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do.
Yeah.
Big saw. This is my strongest arm. We're going to carry the big saw that we're going to need. Probably put it on the edge of the driveway so it's ready. This one's going up to the climber. As it gets closer to the ground, the bigger wood, and I can send that saw.
So that's carrying a chainsaw.
Sorry, I just have another question about that,
Yeah.
Don.
Yes.
Is it better to carry it with two hands, or does it not matter?
So when we get to the next operation, it's carried like this.
Okay.
If I have to go further than 10 feet in cutting operations, let's say I had to walk over there, I'm just going to turn this off and walk over. When I'm in cutting operations,
Like if we're
So
processing
I'm
right here,
cutting here and I'm going to cut another branch where Declan is, I'm going to walk over here and release.
so he's not really traveling. He's still within a work zone
Okay.
where processing's happening. It's when you start traveling. Think about basketball, right? Traveling's a penalty.
Yep.
All right? We're going to call it as a penalty. So that's carrying a chainsaw. Move into ground start.
Yep.
So explain use proper choke. A saw that has a choke instead of a delta switch. Ensure the decompression valve is depressed if it has one. Ensure chain brake is engaged. So before we've even started, you got to make sure these things are done. Holding the front handle with the left hand, remain in a firm locked position during start. Place the body of the saw securely against the left knee on the ground. Secure the rear handle with the inside arch of the right foot. Ensure balanced body position on a cleared zone of flat terrain. Pull starter cord with the right hand until chainsaw is started.
Good. Think I can do it? That's my brain on paper. So I would be talking every motion through. So when we do this demo live, Don's going to test me when we get to the Y. So you're going to see me talking a lot. But I would just kind of get to the point that I've got my body. There's my first point of contact. But that's not always unstable. I could have it here. So we don't rely on that to be 100% good stuff. But me being here on the ground, this up here, there's my first point of contact. My second point of contact is this. I'm kind of leaning down a little bit, trying to push this saw through the pavement. And then what I'm going to do is use the inside arch of my foot. 20, 30 years ago, we would have stuck our toes in there, but now with new steel toes and carbon fiber, I can't get in there, but what would I damage to? Yeah, I'd break the throttle right off. So the best method from Europe to the US to Canada and back is this method here. Okay, even though you'll see it in a picture in a book, old school, just because no one wants to change page 2, right? So right now, maybe I'm a little tired, maybe you got stitches here, whatever. Can't do that, there's your other option. You're still having that downward force in there stabilizing that saw. Okay. So there's where I'd go to my delta position. I know that when this saw starts, I'm gonna have to reach down, flip that trigger, so I might dry fire this a couple times just to make sure that I understand how that mechanism works. So I go to here, yeah, I understand the mechanism. The decomp button is designed to prevent musculoskeletal disorders through this. How many times do you think I've started a chainsaw since 1976?
Millions.
Yeah, so, but my both arms are the same length, right? That one flinches, this one doesn't. That hurts. Okay, so this, how that works is that I got compression right now, I got resistance. If I push that in, so now I can pull that with more force with less impact. So now I'm good to go. I'll make sure everything's clear. I'm in delta, decomp's down. What am I gonna do? Flip it in, try to keep it running. Change the brake, chainsaw moving. disengages the brake, that means that the chain and the clutch are all going to work together. So you'll hear it go nice. I need everybody to go lift. And I put the brake on. You hear the difference if I don't have the brake off. I'm driving mom's car, the park brake on, like taking it in the parking lot. But, here we go. Now I put the brake on, so I'm going to walk, stop, do a rotation. You want to make sure that you understand rotation, because if you're cutting something, you need to move effectively. You know, put that brake on and get out of there. So we want to get this all memorized in your head. Now we're going to do this. You can see I'm in control. I've got 3 points of contact when I've got a running saw. When I've got a non-running saw, there's the difference.
2 points.
2 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, that was our ground start. So all them push-ups are starting to come alive, right? Okay.
So, next section. So safe travel from the ground start. So just like what Bob demonstrated, stand up safely with the chainsaw in your hands with the chain brake engaged. Ensure good balance. Disengage the chain brake using an appropriate left hand location and grip. Return the hand to operation location and rev or spin the chain. So just like he flipped the chain from a good position. Release the throttle, engage the chain brake, take 3 steps. Turn, you're going to do it again. Take the chain brake off, flip the throttle, re-engage the chain brake, take 3 steps, turn, do it again. So we want to see that you're able to have control all the time. Have control of the saw when you're standing still, have control during the starting, having control of the saw in motion within your work zone. That's travel. And now we can talk about starting.
Yeah.
Starting, standing. Standing, starting, starting, standing. So master controls in delta. Ensure decomp switch is depressed. Ensure chain brake is engaged. Same 3 steps. We're going to tilt the saw at a 45-degree angle. So we're going to pick up the saw. And how are we going to get our 45-degree angle?
The
Look
handle?
at the saw. Talk to me.
Use the handle.
Use the corner of the grip. So we've got multiple angles along the left hand handlebar grip. So we want a 45 position.
Yeah, 45.
We want to secure the saw between the legs just above the knees.
Okay. So everybody take your right hand right now, just above your knee, right where that fleshy stuff starts. That's where you're doing it. Remember when we used to stand at the bus stop? Right? After we walked 40 miles with a load of wood in my back, waiting for the school bus to come after I'd milked 50 cows. My hands are cold, right? So, it's a knee lock, right? You're locking it just in around your knees. You're not squeezing the life out of it, right? And us, being arborists, we utilize this on the ground and in the canopy or aloft. So we're the only identity that does it up there. So, arm grip. What else do I got to do?
Ensure a balanced body position. Hold the front handle in appropriate location with the left hand. Remain in a firm lock position during starting. And then we can pull the starter cord with the right hand till the chainsaw is started.
Yeah. And you'll see various different situations. So a leg lock, if someone's ever said that, that would be like this. But I would never stand on the ground with one. I'd be aloft. So this leg would be against a tree or a branch or whatever it may be, locking so that I can get that capture in here. If Jen was here to do a demo, she stands like this. She stands at a T stance. I stand at 11. Okay, so it depends on your gait and how you are.
Yeah.
Ken Gilly stands like this because he's bull-legged, right? And he's got it kind of. Yep. Squeeze that saddle, buddy. So, we're good to go?
That's a
Yep.
standing starting position. Pay attention to Bob's shoulders and hips and look where. Watch how he moves. Watch how he makes his body work in the situation.
And look at where my hands are. I'm in my power zone. I don't have my hand over here. I don't have my hand over here. I've got my saw feeling good. If you take a look at these saws and Husqvarnas, they've groomed that area, right? They've made it so that it's a comfortable capture in there. So you'll see me just kind of move my hand around depending on the body of the saw. So my hands are in here, I'm in good position. Know how this master control works. This model is spring loaded, so you physically have to push that up.
Okay.
It'll kill itself and then it'll return to start. Husqvarna would be down. Some of our other units would push up and stay in the up position. So you really need to know how that master control functions. They're not all the same.